At the beginning of our movie, we see Megan feeling very confused with her current life. Her family doesn't really support her, and she just feels like her life is meaningless. And after her best friend of high school died, there was really nothing left for her in Valley Cottage. She also got fired from her current job, and she saw this ad for the Marine Corps, and thinking that she has nothing else to lose, she decides to join the boot camp. Her mom and stepfather missed her graduation, but they still managed to make it to her celebration later. And while having lunch with her mom, she gets into this argument regarding her biological father, and she ends up leaving her mom at the dinner table. And Megan went out for a drink with her friends, and after their late night drink, she really had to pee and she ended up getting caught peeing on the marina's ground, and she kinda got punished for that. Her master sergeant sent her to the marina's core working dogs ground as a punishment for a week. And while she was cleaning the dog's kennel, she meets Cindy and Rex, marine dogs that are used for sniffing explosives. When she tried to talk to one of the dogs, Rex, he just scared her away. And her second punishment was to take part as a decoy for the dog's training. One of the Marines tells her to leave her protective pants off and just to wear the jacket as a prank. And then she ends up getting bit on the ass by Rex. And she went back to the dog's kennel again to see Rex later, but he still scared her away. And then Megan asked Gunny how to become a dog handler, and he told her she has to get first class on her PFT test. And after she did that, she went back to Gunny and she gave him her test results. But at that time, he didn't really have a dog that he could give her. And Gunny later introduced the Marines to Sergeant Andrew Dean to share his experiences in the field. And the Marine cops were being given medical training for their dogs, and Megan joined them with her can. But it looks like Rex's handler was having a little trouble because he bit him on his hand and he actually broke his bones. And Gunny then decided to assign Rex to Megan. Megan was pretty shocked and excited because Rex actually bit her on the ass, and he's a pretty terrifying dog. And at first, Megan went to the dog kennel with food for Rex, and she told him he had to go inside the house or she wouldn't give him any food. But he just kept staring at her, and then later he decided to go inside and get his food. And Andrew was a trainer that showed Megan how to train a dog. Rex could already smell explosives and he's already a pretty good police dog of sorts. But the issue now was Megan had to learn how to control him, to give him commands, to praise him, and to guide Rex to find the things that he's supposed to find. And Andrew tells her that he can't really show her how to bond with this dog because there needs to be a very strong bond between the handler and the dog for the dog to obey the commands of the handler. And all of this gets pretty intense for Megan, especially when she and Rex get deployed to Iraq for 7 months. While heading over there, Rex got very nervous and he started barking everywhere, and the other soldiers complained to her because she's supposed to handle him. He's supposed to be quiet and just be a very professional type of dog. And she tries to comfort him as much as she could because Rex is a very unpredictable and aggressive type of dog. After they camped at Ramad, Megan meets a guy called Matt, who was also from New York and on deployment, and he also happens to be a dog handler. And late at night, Megan gets called for a mission, and she and Rex start exploring a house. They see a lot of rags in the house, and that really perplexes them. And the owner of the house tells them that it's for some kind of religious reason, but one of the Marines calls bullshit, and they start looking further into the house. And then Rex kept sniffing the rags, and when they told the owner to remove the rags, he was complaining and he did it anyways, and they found a lot of weapons. They were all shocked to see this, and the owner tried to run away, but they captured him, and they all went out celebrating their success that night. And Matt and Megan ended up playing cards and having a conversation. He asked her about her family and her tattoo, and she opened up about her life and how dysfunctional her family is, and how she lost her friend to drugs really young. And after that, her mood started to change and she just went to bed. And the next day she was called for another mission, and this time she went without Matt, and her and Rex found a lot of explosives that day as well. And she was really proud of herself and Rex because of what they did. And they decided to take a break when they saw this vehicle approaching from afar. They all focused their attention on the vehicle, and they began approaching him after the vehicle came to a halt. And a man came out unarmed from the car, and as Megan began approaching the vehicle, all of a sudden a bomb exploded. Megan's head began to ring, and she was actually bleeding from her ears. And both her and Rex were actually really hurt. And they found that there was an IED that almost killed Megan and Rex, and that it was buried deep and targeted from afar. And the Marines got into an argument with Megan because she insisted on helping despite her and Rex's injuries. And her stubborn nature won, and they all went after the attacker together. When they got to the place where the terrorists were, they were already gone, just their equipment was left behind. And Rex suddenly started barking at Gomez, and they all tried to calm him down, but he just kept barking. And Megan felt like something was off when the terrorists unexpectedly attacked them from the right. And that's when all hell broke loose and both groups started shooting each other. The Marines eventually had to retreat, and another explosion caught Megan off guard, and Rex followed her, and they all ended up in their military car and back in their military base safely. But Megan had to leave Rex behind to get medical treatment, which really broke her heart. And Matt promised that he would really take care of Rex. And when she woke up from her hospital bed, she asked for Rex and she started crying. And Megan's dad picked her up from the airport and welcomed her because she had to go back home. And it was Christmas time and he couldn't really join her or stay behind, and he just wished her a Merry Christmas and left. And all she could think about was Rex, and she started calling the Marines to ask about his condition, but she couldn't really get any information. So she decided to go back to the Marines to see Rex, and since they didn't see each other for weeks, both Rex and Megan were really happy to see each other again. They started to spend more time together, and she began instructing other Marines on how to guide their dogs. And she also had a little thing with Matt, and he left her a bouquet of flowers, and they ended up getting it on in her room. And after hearing that Andrew, a fellow Marine, died, Megan thought about resigning, and she actually applied to resign. And after which she decided to adopt Rex, but the nurse told her that Rex is too aggressive and she can't really adopt a dog that's not really safe for the public. And later she heard that Rex is gonna get redeployed again, and that got her really frustrated. She went to talk to Gunny, but he was not in his office, and she ended up trashing his office out of anger. And things went a little downhill after that. She returned the next day to apologize to Gunny, and she begged him to reconsider his decision, but there really wasn't anything that he could do for Rex. And Megan went back to the dog kennel to say her final goodbyes, and on her way back home, she actually broke down crying. And the next day, Megan's mom came to her house with a new puppy in the morning to surprise her. But that just ended up pissing Megan off a lot. And after telling her mom that this puppy can't replace Rex, she left to go to her dad's house. And she didn't even greet him walking inside the house. She was just quiet and very, very pissed off. And small noises started to trigger her and her wartime memories. She started getting angry when she saw people mistreating their pets. She was a complete mess. And then she joined a therapy group and she started opening up. And one afternoon she received a gift from Matt, and her father encouraged her to go to any lengths to obtain Rex. And then she got a phone call from someone called Marin, who tells her that Rex got injured and is actually retiring. And even though he's retiring and sick, he's still unadoptable. And she made it her mission to find a way to save Rex, the war hero, and bring him home. She approached the senator and told him about Rex and his accomplishments. She started collecting petitions and showing up in media to get public attention. And at Rex's retirement ceremony, and yes, they do give dogs retirement ceremonies, she saw Matt, who told her that this was Rex's last mission, and to take him home before they changed their minds. And Megan ended up taking Rex to his new home, and Megan and Rex were appreciated for their service, and Megan was also recognized as a Yankees fan. And the movie ends by showcasing a picture of Megan and Rex during their service time. Cause yes, this was a real story and it did really happen. And that's how our movie ends, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you on the next recap. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment. I will see you on the next one. Bye.